Alrighty, what's going on, guys? So we're back with another video, another play coming out of Champs 2025, and we're going to be taking a look at yet another round from the PRX XLG game. This is going to be a little bit of a slow burn. I got to make these videos last, y'all. But we got another play coming out of PRX XLG. This time we're going to be taking a look at the perspective of XLG. XLG, for conference, our context, actually put a really good fight against PRX on this map, and we're looking really strong. I was actually like pleasantly surprised with the performance of XLG during this map specifically. So this play is going to be a little bit more simple, something that you guys have probably seen in your ranked games, but something that I think XLG really executed well on, and that is a standard BX or A execute. Probably wondering, like, why the hell are we talking about an A execute? Well, XLG managed to do a flawless A execute against one of the best teams in the world. So I think that's something that's worth breaking down. So we're going to take a look at it. So for context, this is going to be the first buy round of the game. PRX is going to be a little bit on a tiny bit of a mixed buy. They're going to have a Bulldog and a Stinger, and everyone else has rifles. So start this off. PRX is going to start us off with a default A short smoke. Pretty standard stuff, nothing crazy. XLG is going to respond with the default Viper wall to like feint aggression, feint that someone could be walking up and keep PRX honest. While this is happening, we're going to get a Skybird sent into bathrooms to confirm if anyone is playing in there aggressively or not. For pops, they realize, hey, no one's in there, but they do know PRX is hearing that there is aggression and there is space happening towards bathrooms. Someone is trying to take space. So they're going to shift their attention a little bit, which is going to prompt something to play in front of this wall, because now this Viper wall is much more of a threat. So they want to know if someone's walking through to get aggressive. So something has a TP, a gate crash, primed in heaven, and is going to play a little more aggressive to get some information. While he is about to do that, we're going to see Rarga, Happyway, and Coconut are going to bust through the smoke. Well, Coconut's going to use Thrash to get through the smoke and pop an ult. So it's going to prompt something to jump into the TP and teleport back into heaven. So now the execute is underway. So now we have Happyway and Rarga are going to be making their way up towards the site following Thrash. We also noticed at the beginning of the round, Happyway threw a Viper Orb, like the pretty standard Viper Orb that teams are throwing now, to block off the U-Hop angle. And then we're going to see Viva is Viva, right? Yeah, Viva is going to follow up with 2 Brimstone Smokes so they can take the front of the site. And that's something that I want to stress that a lot of teams don't do in ranked play. And I think even like some tier 3 teams that I've coached have had this bad problem where you execute onto A site, but you don't take the entirety of the site. Guys, that's something that is like a non-negotiable when taking the site. You have to take the entirety of the site, and bathrooms should be seen as an extension of that site, because holding bathrooms is about the only thing that will give defenders a strong foothold into the site to actually be able to fight for it effectively. If you take bathrooms and you take bench side, triple side, their defenders aren't really going to be able to do a whole lot. It's going to be very hard for them to get back into the site, especially if you're executing right off rip with all 5 players up and full utility. It's a nightmare to retake. So we're going to see Thrash is going to be pathing towards bathrooms. We're also going to see the Skydog get propped here to make sure that if anyone is in bathrooms, they are going to get stunned and they can get crunched by Happyway and by No Man. Bathroom is 100% confirmed clear. And No Man is now going to path towards triple to kind of just maintain that site control. We're also going to see Rarga is going to blast pack towards U-Haul, towards Lamp, but he's actually not going to fight in Lamps. So check out how Rarga plays this. He's going to boombot, get information. He's going to peek to see how many people are in there, and the stream freezes a little bit. He peeks to confirm that how many bodies are in there, and you can tell that because he took a little bit of damage. He's at 62 health. And then he's going to go ahead and call Coconut to come back and play what's called a high-low. don't know what a high-low is, high-low is essentially when two players on the same team play an elevated position and play like a lower position to basically ensure a trade. It's very hard to pick up a double kill from that position as like the opposite team. So they're going to play a high-low and just look to hold U-Haul together. And they're just going to force PRX into a really awkward fight. And that's something else that's super important. While it's important to know what's going on in the lamps/U-Haul position, it's not absolutely necessary for the execute, for you to hang on to the site. Now, it's good to know what's happening and be prepared for a fight, but you actually don't need to take that space. Lamps/U-Haul is like a big trap, is what I tell people. Like, it's not really necessary to take the site, because once you take it, half the time you sit in there and you're not actually able to like help the rest of your team fight. And while it's good to have control and know what's going on in there and be ready for a fight, you don't necessarily need to take the space or need to have a body in there. And that's something XLG understands very well. So they tell themselves, okay, awesome, we know there's people in there. Now we can prep and give them like a really awkward fight. And again, it's gonna lag a little bit, and then we're gonna see Coconut is gonna follow up with Moss just to make sure that no one else is in there, because they haven't seen these last two players. And then Viva is also doing a super important portion as well. Viva is playing back towards short to maintain that control. You will notice that XLG doesn't have a Sentinel on this comp, and that's something that is pretty frequent in rank play and something that can be applicable to almost everyone's games. When that's happening, the default person to hold those flanks in situations like this is the controller. And holding these positions is extremely important. This is something that I talk about on the live streams. This is something I talk about in previous videos. When you're in a retake scenario, you need to give yourself some extra space. You need to give your team an out. Most often, it'll be the path that you use to get into the site, because you don't want to wind up in a little box on the site and then get cleared out just slow. It's like it's death by a million cuts at that point. So playing and giving yourself space to play and not get cleared out by utility, but be able to still fight for the bomb is super, super important. This is something that you'll see happen a lot when I break down videos doing stuff on like Haven C, for example, is like a great example of this. And is applicable on most every map. So yeah, Viva's doing a great job, was likely playing for a Molly lineup, but still fulfilled his duty of holding down a short to make sure flanks didn't come in and make sure his teammates have some room to play and still play for bomb. So Viva's going to play here, pick up Jing, and then Patman is going to be in a really bad spot. He realizes he's in 1v5, going to try to go back, try to save his gun, try to like maintain some sort of value out of this round, is going to get hunted down by Happy Way. But yeah, guys, it seems super basic on paper, but it is like that's a perfect way to execute A on bind. That's how you should be doing this. This is how you should be executing on this map when you're playing it. Take bathrooms control, take triple control, don't get baited into the U-Haul/lamps fight, and make sure that you're fighting for short or bathrooms, giving yourself some play space so you're not actually, left out to dry. Just a super well played execute out of XLG. So yeah, I hope you guys found it helpful and you guys learned something out of this. I know it's something that can be applicable to most of your games. So yeah, hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you later.